Unsolved 1946, the case of 26-year-old Frances Vera Mizzi. Frances Mizzi was found strangled with a silk stocking in a flat in Wardour Street, Soho, on the night of Monday the 25th of February 1946. It was thought that she might have been murdered on the previous Friday, the 22nd of February 1946, or in the early hours of the Saturday morning. She was last seen alive at about 9:45 p.m. on the Friday night, walking towards her flat with a small man with dark hair who was wearing a dark, shabby suit and no overcoat. The owner of the flat next door said that she later heard sounds like furniture being moved around or tipped over and the sounds of a muffled cry. Frances Mizzi's friend, who had not seen her since the Friday night, later called the police, who forced an entry into her flat on the Monday morning and found her dead. It was reported that she had been seen on the Saturday morning with a short sailor with a Scottish accent at about 1 a.m, and the police later went to Glasgow and Clydeside in search of him. The man was described as being about 25 years old, small, about 5 foot 1 inch to 5 foot 4 inches tall, with a boyish face, sturdily built, and with a dark sallow complexion, a thinnish face, and with dark hair, well greased, and with a wave in front. The police also questioned 1 or 2 young women who were believed to have visited her flat over the weekend. It was thought that her murderer had spent about 2 hours in her flat after the murder. The police said that they were working on the theory that the motive for her murder must have been either robbery or revenge. The police said that they were trying to trace her handbag, which was also missing from her flat and thought to have contained money, as well as a small tin box that was missing from her flat. It was also reported that her murder might have been carried out by a gang in revenge for her having been a squealer. It was said that there were rumours in the Soho underworld and the small West End cafes that she had been known to visit that she had been an informant and that she had squirreled on one of her friends, possibly a member of a black market gang. During a search of her flat, the police found a man's suit bottom, some strands of hair, and a partly blurred fingerprint that was found on a bedside table. Frances Mizzi had been married to a 27-year-old Maltese man who was later, on the 27th of February 1946, sentenced to 3 months' imprisonment after pleading guilty to living fully, or in part, on her immoral earnings. He had previously been convicted of living off the immoral earnings of his wife on the 3rd of February 1944 and sentenced to 3 months' hard labour. Frances Mizzi had been found in a second-floor flat in Wardour Street above a radio shop, which was noted as being opposite the headquarters of many famous film companies, an area described as being in the centre of London's filmland. In July 1946, it was reported that the police were interviewing a man in connection with another case who they thought might have been able to offer a clue into her murder, but little else was reported. In December 1946, it was reported that there was a good basis for the theory that the murder had been the work of a man who was executed for the murder of a woman in North London in very similar circumstances. Frances Mizzi had also been known as Frances Handley. She was said to have led a mysterious life. Nothing more is known about how she came to be murdered, and her case remains unsolved to this day.